In this episode on my channel, we're going to be showcasing Spotlight Review article on USA Today. It's a legendary news media type outlet that's gone digital in recent years, as others have, but revealing a couple of small little short review articles as we go on. So let's start. In talking about news, well, here's USA Today's current and recent breaking headlines, top headlines over there on the right. Well, let's take a look at this one. Explosive diarrhea parasite prompts some restaurants to change menu. USA Today reached out to major national fast food chains asking if they're doing anything different during the uptick in cyclosporiasis cases. And here's the article right here, and we'll read. Explosive diarrhea cases surge across the U.S. What is cyclosporiasis? A cyclosporiasis outbreak has sickened hundreds, possibly thousands of Americans with a long-lasting parasitic infection, and dining out presents a unique challenge for people who want to avoid it. While experts have tips for preparing food at home, dining out means letting someone else do the prep work, including washing produce and cooking food to the right temperature. Consumers, whether they're at home or at restaurants, have to be a bit more cautious and frankly paranoid. Bill Marler, a food safety lawyer, told USA Today, as someone who has represented people with bouts of the illness, he said, it is not pleasant and can last for months. Some restaurants are removing risky ingredients from their menus as experts encouraging caution. But major national chains have said little publicly about their response plans. The outbreak has unevenly hit the country, with some states reporting hundreds or more cases and others none at all. In moving back up to the video here about to be played, let's watch and see what this lady's got to say.
Cases of cyclosporiasis, a form of food poisoning spread by the parasite Cyclospora, have continued to grow across the U.S. as part of a seasonal surge that appears to be outpacing previous years. The U.S. often sees a surge during the warm summer months, with the CDC defining the season for the illness as being from May 1st through August 31st. No centralized source of the outbreaks has been identified, though the FDA and CDC continue to investigate. One state, Michigan, has been hit the hardest, reporting over 700 cases as of July 7th. Like other foodborne illnesses, the symptoms of cyclosporiasis are largely gastrointestinal, including vomiting, nausea, and what the CDC describes as explosive diarrhea. It is most often spread via fresh, unwashed produce, which can be contaminated with fecal matter during the growing and selling process. Most people can recover at home without hospitalization, though the risk is higher in children, older people, and those with compromised immune systems.
And there you have it, folks. All these restaurateurs out here having these employees that don't wash their hands after they come out of the restroom. Stop playing with yourself, you damn food preppers. Always utilize safe food prep practices. And you can put an end to this awful food poisoning, I guess it would be called. All right then, moving on. In our next little article grab, we're going to find out what happened to Conor McGregor. What happened to Conor McGregor? Injury updates after UFC 329 loss to Max Holloway. Let's take a look.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, the main event of the evening. A clash between two legends. Introducing first, the former featherweight and the former BMF champion, the great Max Bless Holloway! Official weight 170. Opponent, the former featherweight and lightweight champion of the world, the notorious Conor McGregor!
Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I had to cut that video short because it was over 3 minutes. I wanted to make this article just concise, short, and sweet, and to the point. Now, as we read, the Conor McGregor comeback imploded. McGregor, in his first fight in 5 years, appeared to suffer a leg injury that ended his bout against Max Holloway shortly after it began at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas on Saturday, July 11th. Now McGregor's future as a UFC fighter looks as uncertain as ever. He appeared to suffer a right leg injury just seconds after the bout started against Holloway. McGregor, 37, grimaced while landing on his leg after attempting a jumping roundhouse kick. He got to his feet and tried another kick. He fell again. Ooh, disappointing. Holloway attacked McGregor while the Irishman was on the ground, but looked to the referee as if he knew McGregor was hurt. McGregor reached his feet again, then indicated he was unable to continue. The referee stopped the fight after 1 minute 9 seconds in the first round. McGregor sat on his corner stool for what seemed like eternity before he left the octagon to a smattering of boos. And as you see from this Sports Center little clip, Conor McGregor leaving the arena immediately after UFC 329. Oh my, look at that. And probably physically shaken. Well, that about does it for his career. Injuries have derailed McGregor before. Yes, it probably has. His comeback fight originally was set for June 29, 2024, but McGregor pulled out 2 weeks before the fight, citing a broken toe. This appears to be far more serious than a broken toe. The ticket prices might have cut into the level of sympathy as McGregor exited the octagon. Some people had paid well over $1,000 for tickets to the sold-out event at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. And then we see Dana White addresses Conor McGregor's injury. With McGregor headed to the hospital, UFC CEO Dana White and doctors apparently working UFC 329 already were speculating. We're assuming blown ACL, White told reporters. I'm no doctor, but that's what I figured when I saw, and the doctors think the same thing too. Yes, well, it may be one thing, but the doctors ultimately know what it probably will be. So, moving on. And finally, in a most saddening news, Senator Lindsey Graham dies at 71 after a brief and sudden illness. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham died on July 11th following a brief and sudden illness, according to a statement from his office. As we read further, it states, on the evening of Saturday, July 11th, U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham passed away from a brief and sudden illness. A statement posted to his social media account said, Senator Graham's family appreciates prayers at this time and asks for privacy during this incredibly difficult period. Graham's death marks the passing of a longtime conservative fixture of the Senate and one of President Donald Trump's closest allies in Washington. As we continue, we see his ex-post right here, and reading further, in his more than 3 decades in Washington, Graham played major roles in crafting key pieces of legislation affecting millions of Americans' lives, while also developing a reputation as a stark foreign policy hawk. The Republican died just a year after helping shepherd through one big, beautiful bill as the powerful chairman of the Senate Budget Committee. In a statement, Senate Majority Leader John Thune, Republican of South Dakota, called Graham a trusted advisor and colleague, saying numerous presidents and heads of state have relied on his counsel. His influence on the federal judiciary, our national defense, and his beloved South Carolina will be felt for generations, Thune said. President Trump, a friend of Graham's, called the South Carolina senator one of the greatest people and senators I've ever known. He was always working, was a true American patriot, Trump wrote on social media. Lindsey will be greatly missed. Graham, an Air Force veteran and former state legislator, served for more than 3 decades on Capitol Hill. He first came to the House of Representatives after victory in the 1994 elections, before being elected to serve in the Senate 2002, succeeding Strom Thurmond. Other tributes poured in early Sunday morning for Graham from his colleagues. Senator Mike Lee, Republican of Utah, said he would miss his infectious laugh, quick wit, and enthusiasm for life. Senator Roger Wicker, a Republican of Mississippi, the chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, said there were no words to describe his impact on the foreign and domestic policy of the United States. He stood solidly for freedom and strength, and he fought for liberty across the globe, Wicker said in a statement. Lindsey Graham can be succeeded in office, but he cannot be replaced. South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster called Graham the fiercest of fighters for South Carolina and America in a statement posted to X. Lindsey Graham is irreplaceable, McMaster said. But also, one final note I would say about Senator Graham, a lot of people that are closely broadcasting to YouTube and other things politically, he was noted as a staunch rhino that was getting in the way a lot of past and present presidents' decisions on foreign policy and other such things. So he will be duly noted as that. But he'll be sadly missed by all those who really, really respected him. But then, whoever will. And that will draw this article to a close. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was a very nice short review report, and I hope to do more. Maybe come back to USA Today at a later date and do another Spotlight review. All right, folks, that'll about do it for this report here on USA Today. I hope you enjoyed it, and remember to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll definitely see you in the next one.